That is a tight fit. I may have to go seek some assistance from the vise to try to get this on here. It feels good to be back in the shop. Been quite a long time since I've turned a wrench out here. Last time we were hanging out, we were working on the wiring in the Dakota, and it's mostly done. I still have quite a bit to do as far as wiring up the Nitrous and the other thing that we're going to work on today. So why don't I show you what we're working on today? Has to deal with this guy right here from Motion Raceworks. We're going to be installing this bypass for a flex fuel sensor and a flex fuel sensor, which I have to find. I don't know where I put it. Come with me. Let me see if it's over here on the table and I'm just not paying attention. The answer is no. Where did I put that thing? I'll have to go look for it. But anyway, we're going to be putting a flex fuel sensor on the Dakota because we're going to start running some E85 because I'm putting a nitrous system on it. So if you're not aware of that, that's what we kind of tore the truck down to do. Time to put a 100 shot and then go up to a 200 shot after some testing and see what we can't do with this guy and this 5.3 that's in the Dakota. So got some other things to go with it. These are all my lines are from Monkey Fab Garage, which is just, it's been great stuff. So I needed a straight fitting. These are ORB fittings that are going to go on the ends of these. And we'll get to all that. But before I do a whole lot else, what I need to do is figure out where I'm going to place it, which I already know where I'm going to place it, and then make the line for it. So if we look on the engine bay, this is my fuel line going in here to my fuel pressure regulator, right? So I have fuel line in on this side, on the right side. I don't know if you can see that. This the return, and this is the send to the fuel rail. There's really no good place to put the flex fuel sensor in here anyway. Not without moving like this up some, and I just don't really want to drill a whole bunch of new lines. I've got the new fuel line here, and just the brake booster and everything else in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it on the frame rail below the truck. See if I can show you guys that. It's going to go right here. So I need to pull this fuel line off and stuff to get a measurement of where I need to go. So I'm going to start with that here in a second, and we'll come back and discuss what we're going to do next. Well, let's look at what we got here, and I'll show you the plan. So, Motion Raceworks flex fuel sensor for GM flex fuel sensor bypass. It's going to go in line. You know their stuff. Good stuff. Billet aluminum, made at their location in, I believe it's Iowa somewhere, not actually far from where my family is from. All right, that's an extra O-ring, it looks like. Need to keep an eye on that. And it comes with a little mounting bracket, so we're going to be mounting it this way. But I still need to trim the line, so that's kind of what we're after today. Eventually, after I drop everything, I'm just going to leave this thing in place like this right now. But eventually this flex fuel sensor, GM 135-07128 GM flex fuel sensor. I got this from Amazon during Prime Week. I got it for $50, but they're usually about $100. And this will eventually go in between these two things here, and then you have your flex fuel. So that's the plan. I may mount it like, I don't know how I'm going to mount it yet. But wait, there's a flow. I have to mount it a certain way, I'm sure. I would assume. I'll have to look that up because I don't know if this is directional or not. Good question. But basically, this is just what I need right now to figure out where I'm going to put this in line. I'm probably going to pull the bracket off for now because I just need the dimension of the actual bypass. That way we can get our length. So let's do that real quick. Actually, before I shut you guys down, I've got these dash 10 ORB fittings, I believe. A and 8 to dash 10. And they have to go on the ends. All right, so I got to put one here. And then I have another one. Right, goes on both ends of it. We'll get them tightened down full on a little bit. And then I have a union that's going to go from the fuel. Whoop, that's not it. Where is my union? Here it goes. It's a Fragola. Dash 8 to dash 8 female. We'll cut this guy open. That's going to go on the end. And the other side is going to go to the fuel filter. So let's go see where we need to trim. Here's that union I was talking about. And we're going to put it in line right here. Go ahead and get it kind of tightened on pretty good. Perfect. That's going to work out pretty well, I think. Got a little bit of a bump here on the frame. I don't know if that's going to cause any concern with the bracket or not. So we'll find out. All right, so now I know that I need to trim about this much off of the line. So now that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go cut this line. I'm going to wrestle with the fitting for an hour to get it on, and then we'll come back. Well, that went a little faster than I expected, but we got the new end on the hose. So the whole hose is shorter now. So we should be good there. But I've got a little bit of I wouldn't even say a problem. I just had to look at it for a minute to kind of figure it out. But we've got a little bit of a concern. All right, here's the issue, and it's kind of hard to see. I'll move you guys around. There's a bump from the frame right here. I'm not sure what for, but it's pushing this whole thing out some. And I've been concerned about that because I'm like, I don't want to put any pressure on this, and I want to try to mount it as flat as possible. But what I realized is I've got some room here to where I can loosen up the clamp for the fuel filter, pull this back some, and get it away from that bump. So that's what I'm going to do right now. If I can find the right wrench. That seems right. Let's pull this back. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There we go. That's much better. We can go all the way to there if we need to. And that'll help me mount all this stuff better and be happier. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do right there. Okay. I guess we need to assemble this thing for the final time then. And then we can get the rest of it ran. Hopefully, we're not too far from having most of this stuff in place. right, the rest of this should be fairly simple, provided I can find all the tools that I need. All right. So I've mocked this up. I believe there's different combinations you can do with this bracket, right? In fact, I think I got it backwards. I need to change it around. I played with this for a little while to figure out what was going to be the best orientation. So you guys, I recommend to do the exact same. Okay. So, carefully, I'm going to pull this apart. There's some grease in between here and an O-ring right there. Additionally, there's also an O-ring right here and an O-ring right here. This should be somewhat self-explanatory, but I do need to grab a little bit of oil. Here we go. I am going to take my flex fuel sensor. It does not matter which orientation this dude goes in. It is unidirectional. I want my plug facing the front of the truck. So this is how I have it oriented. This is the rear of the truck. This is the front of the truck. I want this plug facing the front, and it can probably revolve a little bit in here. We're going to pull the caps off. We're going to put some oil on our ends because of that O-ring in there. So I'm going to put one on this side. It's a tight fit. Ooh, it's a real tight fit. I imagine on purpose. And then do the same thing on this other side. And then be careful when we join the two halves together to make sure we don't roll the O-ring right here. So, come on now. Ooh. It's a tight fit. Ooh, buddy. That is a tight fit. I may have to go seek some assistance from the vise to try to get this on here without rolling that. We still haven't rolled the O-ring. That's what I'm watching. And I don't have a dead blow, which would somewhat be beneficial, I think, in this kind of a situation. Man, it's tight. Okay. I got it together. I grabbed these little small lips right here with the jaws of the vise and cranked it just a little bit, and we're good to go. Now this thing is not rotating at all. It is a tight fit in between there. There's a little bit of gap, but that doesn't matter because it's sealed by the O-rings. So as long as we can get this bracket in here, which we can, and then get the bracket on the other side, we should be golden. Because that'll prevent it from spreading again. Which it is fighting me a little bit. There it goes. There are nuts on and that part's done. So, now the flex fuel sensor is assembled. Tighten up our nuts. Not over tighten on it. These are lock nuts. This should be fine. There we go. Another set here. There. Our block and thing is assembled. So we're going to be good to go to mount that on the frame. I've got to look at some hardware stuff real quick just to make sure I'm on the right track. And we're we're getting close to having this installed. Cool looking though, right? How check that out. That is awesome. That is really neat looking. So, yep. All right, well, it's in place. It's all tightened up. Looks pretty good. I would say so myself. I've got it moved up here, but we're pretty solid. So now, let's cycle the key a couple times and see if it leaks any fuel, because that's kind of important that it doesn't do that. So, all right, I'm listening. Don't see anything leaking. Why don't we start it up? That looks good. Looks really, really good. All right. I was really worried about this, and it's okay. And yeah. Make sure it's not leaking up here. It's dry. .55 PSI or 58. We're good. All right. That has been plaguing me for some time. Now I have to wire it up still, and I have somewhere here, which I don't remember where I put it, a Sloppy Mechanics Flex Fuel wiring kit. Where is it at? I don't know. I actually think I'm going to end it here. I realize I need 2 people to be able to install that bracket. So I got to get underneath it, and somebody's got to run the bolts in from the top. And I don't have 2 people here today. But last thing I wanted to show you is I found my harness. This is a sloppy harness. You can get it at sloppymechanics.com. It's an E85 Flex Fuel harness. And what's cool is it comes with the power tap plug. So if you have a newer, or I should say recent, Holley Terminator X, they came with this extra plug here. And it actually has a sensor ground and a sensor power and some other things, which I don't exactly remember. But it plugs straight in here to get you what you need on the sensor side. And then right here, this is what's going to go to your I's and O's. This would be your input for your flex fuel sensor, and then we can program it through the ECM. So the thing is, it's pretty long, but it's not long enough. And there is a resistor in here somewhere for the flex fuel, which I don't remember exactly what it needs to be a resistor down to. That's what's right here. But I need to lengthen this quite a bit so we can get it over there, kind of cheating for now. But yeah, I need to probably extend this about 4 foot because I got to go up and over and down, then out straight to the flex fuel sensor. And Well, I want to make sure I can take my time to do that, and I only have one day off this weekend, so I need to shut it down, and then we'll plan to lengthen this and do this the right way, and then we're not far off from getting this thing going. I would say if I could work could slow down and we get back to our normal schedule, which I don't know when that's going to be, probably a couple weeks. I could probably take a full day and a half and have this whole nitrous install done and the truck put all back together, because I got to put the full interior back together. But I don't have that at the moment, so I got to bite out some chunks. So I took a couple hours this morning. I got that Motion Raceworks Flex Fuel bypass installed, and I'm very, very happy with it. Nothing's leaking, yay! And that's kind of been a monkey on my back, so I'm glad to have that done, and I'm glad it's working as far as flowing well. So what do we have left? We got to install the nitrous system, we got to wire the nitrous system, and we got to wire the flex fuel, and then I got to play around on the computer based off the information that Matt Apple gave me, that he put out that video on, and we'll talk about that more again once we get down to installing the nitrous. So, like I said, about a day and a half, maybe 2 days of straight working on this thing, and it will be ready to go to the track. So, maybe in December, maybe not. I don't know what tracks are going to be open in December. I'm thinking that maybe we're not going to really be able to hit something until February. But doesn't mean we can't drive it on the street a little bit, test it out, see what happens, right? So we'll be looking forward to that. It's raining over here today, which hasn't happened in a while, so we're glad to have that, but definitely can't do nothing today. Not that I was going to anyway. So, all right, I'm going to shut it down. Thank you guys for coming along, watching that install on the Motion Raceworks Flex Fuel bypass. Real happy with it. A couple of my friends use it. They're happy with it, so I'm excited to see what it does when on E85. I don't think it'll pick up much on motor, but it's supposed to help a lot on nitrous. So that's why we're doing that, and that's why I set up this fuel system. Has been E85 compliant for a while, so we're ready to go. So yeah, a couple more projects here, and then we'll start getting back on the Jeep and start pulling that motor and trans out. I hope to kind of have that stuff running before the spring as well, because I want to enjoy that a little bit before it gets nasty hot again next year, that definitely shouldn't be too much of an issue. We should be able to get that done. Other than that, I'm just going to try to come out here as much as I can and bring you guys with me if I can, and I will update you guys when my schedule changes and we can get back to a normal posting schedule on YouTube. So thank you all for being very, very patient with me. I know you guys are very understanding, especially the people that watch the videos religiously. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. If you're new to the channel, all we have is projects, and most of the time I post every week. But as I said, my schedule's been crazy at my day-to-day job, which is something that I was prepared for. But once this lines out, it'll get back to posting every week. And come hang out with us. We'd love to have you. So please consider subscribing. Again, those that already have subscribed, thank you guys very, very much. Other than that, you can check us out on our social media pages, which is just Instagram and Facebook at the Raceworks Garage. We have a little bit of merch on our website, which is racerxgarage.com. And there, I'm done plugging everything, and I'm going to go inside, take a shower, enjoy the rest of my day while I do a bunch of laundry. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next time. Until next time, y'all be good.